already there. We're 533 years in the future, and things have come to their natural end. Looks like the Byzantines are in existence, and they're going strong. Looks like one Carling is still alive, if not many more. It looks like England has still not figured out if they're Wessex or England. We love to see that. Denmark is having its own issues. Sweden doesn't really exist. It's either Lithuania or Pomerania. You get those choices, nothing else. As for the East, looks like there is some sort of Abbasid residuals happening. Egypt is unified. You love to see that. And India seems to be still being fought over. As always, let's start with religion and see who was the most religious, prolific religion. We've got some people that normally don't show up here. Catholicism, yes. Ashari, yes. Orthodox, but Buddhism getting a big shot in the arm with the DLC. It looks like for whatever reason they got reformed, and then they got spread quickly and far. Probably just because Ghana starts out with so much land. The Ghanaians reformed the faith at some point in their history. I wish you could see when faiths were reformed. That would be a kind of a fun stamp, so that you can be like, oh, it's because this ruler did this or that. Well, I am surprised to see it's not an Ashari dominance. Usually Ashari or one of the Muslim faiths is pretty aggressive. What I'm really surprised is by Catholics in the East. And I think that's coming from the fact, I don't know for sure, but I think it's coming from the fact that the Mongols are doing something that is causing them to switch over to Christianity. So last time we saw them be Slovakian, and now it looks like they're switching to Christianity, because that's just absolutely insane. And maybe that's why we didn't see them expand that much, because they went from one Temujin to a Talu, and he became Christian. And I think after that, the empire fell apart, because usually you have to be an unreformed faith to be continuing the Mongol invasion. I might be wrong in saying that, but that's just my experience of what I've seen in the past. Next, we have culture. And if you don't know my opinion about culture, it's we look, we see, we gawk, and we don't tarry too long, just because it's just something that happens. There are different mixtures that happen here and there. I don't know. You know, culture is a thing that I think is more useful to the player than it is the AI, because the AI doesn't quite... They use it, but not to its fullest extent. The economic map mode, I just want to see anything major change. It looks like when we do the two separate photos from the before and after, last time at least when we did the 1066, it looked like everybody got poor. So or maybe that's just a trick of the situation, but this time it looks like yeah, it feels like everybody got like either stayed the same or didn't get that much more wealthy. Not so much. Well, mostly, yeah, that's also the surprising thing, is like places that do spout 53 gold, like the Byzantines, they come out as purple. So it's like kind of misleading. So like one of your provinces could be, or one of your cities in the province can be doing really, really well. But if it's the only one there, it's not considered that wealthy. So this map mode is kind of deceiving, to say the least. Let's look into the top, the strongest people. We always like to see the most powerful nations on the planet. It's a good idea. It looks like this Indian force with 171k. That's not a small number. That's a lot of troops. I imagine if they raised all those troops up, they would be in a serious amount of debt. Which, for example, these guys who are, how much debt are you in? 400 gold to just maintain your troops, which is good to see that the AI isn't going broke as much as they used to, when it comes to having that many troops on the board. And then let's look finally at the sum of skills. I just like to see how well these guys are progressing into their pilgrimages or being traveled, if they're actually getting the new progression of lifestyle traits, and if they're actually moving through them, or if it's just like just because everybody's a smarty pants. It looks like smarty pantses are well abound. Doesn't look like they've moved through a lot of their skill all the way through, but they are working on them. So what have we learned from this time lapse? I think what we've primarily learned is that mostly the Asheri dominance of the 867 start date is not true as much as it used to be, especially if the Mongols are going to consider themselves Catholics or convert to Catholicism. I think we saw that in the 1066 start, and that was just a very interesting thing. I'm also happy to see other unreformed religions become more prominent. That's exciting. Usually everybody switched to either one or the other. There's never usually in between. You're either a Muslim or you're a Christian, or you're one of the Indian faiths that is one of the 15 Indian faiths that still survives. What else did we see? Larger armies. People being able to have larger armies. Europe not still being able to consolidate itself into one homogenous thing is still funny. And last but not least, the Venetians, man. Who knew? Who knew the Republic's gonna maybe start making plays for themselves? You might start seeing more the republics making progress across the board. Who knows? Maybe that's just wishful thinking. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a good rest of your day. Ciao.